Hello, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding again. Today, we're going to be going over some more games under the ELO of 500. Yes, more tips, more tricks, more advice from a player that's been playing chess for a long time, been a coach for 15 years. Let's get it, all right? I'm gonna be a loving parent to you so that you can get above 500 ELO if you're a beginner watching this video right now. And there is one thing that you have to know. But let's just start the game. I just want to show you this right quick. I couldn't put these games in the last video because it would have been way too long, but I'm here now, and that's all that matters. And I'm still want you to get this information. Anyway, we got this game. It ended in 5 moves. You could probably guess why it ended in 5 moves already if you're an experienced player, but if you're a beginner, just watch and see what happened here. We got this move E4, E5, bishop to C4, that bishop being developed, pretty cool. Both of them developed their center pawn, which you want to control the center in the beginning of the game. We got this next move, D6, and then we have the very first threat into the position, which was queen to H5. Queen to H5. What is it threatening, of course? It is threatening queen takes on F7, which would be checkmate because that bishop is attacking that pawn too. It is very crucial, very important to watch out for this pawn. That pawn is only being protected by your king on E8. I know there's a lot of pieces in the background on this 8th rank, but this pawn is only being protected by this king. So this king is basically like the bigger brother to that pawn. But that little brother, you know, it can still get snatched up, especially by this queen in this combo, and it usually does. In most beginner games, they lose the 4-move checkmate a lot. Like, I can't tell you about the countless times I'll be at a chess tournament and then the first round, you hear a whole lot of chairs like start moving and shuffling and a lot of pieces being set up in the first minute of the chess tournament because of all the kids that lost when I used to go to tournaments back in the day. It's crazy. It's insane. But anyway, in this game, Black did play G6 to defend against that threat. G6 is attacking the queen. That's why it is the best move. But this player didn't know what to do if the queen went to F3. And this is like the original setup of the scholar's mate trap, right? This is the original setup of this 4-move checkmate. I'm guessing they wasn't paying no mind about it because after doing this move, queen H5, G6, queen F3, they did knight to C6 here. And this is very important. If you're a beginner, just get into the habit right now. Once your opponent starts developing pieces and threatening things, you have to ask yourself the question, what is my opponent's threat? Do it now because even intermediate players don't do this all the time. They forget about that vital question to ask. Always think about what is your opponent's plan because the mission of chess is to be like two steps ahead of them. You got to be like at least like 2 to 3 steps ahead of them and having their ideas and plans in your head so that you can create better options for yourself. After knight to C6, this game ended with the move queen takes on F7, which is checkmate. That bishop is defending the queen and that king cannot capture because of the bishop. That king cannot go anywhere. It can't avoid. Yeah. It's bad, and you can't block either. Like there's not an extra square between F7 and E8, all right? So quick checkmate. If you don't know what scholar's mate is, I did do a quick short about it, and I did a short about how to trap the person that tries to do the 4-move checkmate on you, how to trap them so that you can get a better position out of that game, all right? Go watch that. It's very crucial for you to do that. Let's go to our next game that ended with 11 moves. And this next game is actually pretty interesting. Their rating was like around 300. In this game, this first game, whoever was playing the black pieces, their rating was 159. So if you are that low, you gotta know your scholar's mate. You don't want to lose the scholar's mate. It's embarrassing, and you know, don't be mad or don't be upset that you lose. It's fine. It's just part of chess. In the beginning, chess is a very humbling experience. Anyway, this game started off with E4, E5, knight to C3. And you might be thinking, oh snap, 300 ELO? They're doing the Vienna game? No, they're not. They're not at all, because after that, knight to c3, knight to c6, knight to f3, knight to f6, and yeah, now we got a boring 4 knights game. But the difference is these are 2 beginners. When you see 2 grandmasters play the 4 knights game, you know it's going to be a boring. It's going to be a super boring game. It's probably going to end in a draw. But 2 beginners, it's still up in the air. It's open to anybody imagination. So after knight to c6, knight to f3, knight to f6, and then we have this move bishop to c4, and you can kind of see, okay, they're just developing pieces, whatnot, like they're doing pretty good right now. In this opening, black best move is actually taken. Knight takes on e4, knight takes on e4, d5, fork into 2 pieces. And you have to know this stuff, especially if you're going to play the 4 knights game. Or you got to at least do something like bishop c5 and get castled. The worst move that you could play here, and I know it seems reasonable to like do a move like d6 to get this bishop open so it could do the move bishop to g4. But I digress, because we have this move, knight to g5. Knight to g5, and it's really hard to defend that pawn. You can't just push the queen up to defend it. You can't, I mean, even if you do bishop to e6, bishop takes on e6, f takes on e6, knight takes on e6, and you're attacking the queen on d8. There's so many threats, and black did this move d5. Black did this move d5. After d5, e takes on d5, the knight has to go somewhere on c6, because you don't want to just have your piece being captured by a single pawn. Like the pawn is worth 1 point and the knight is worth 3 points. The knight has to move away. Better square would have been knight to a5 to threaten the bishop on c4, but they did this move knight to d4, which doesn't threaten anything and allows the opponent to do another good move, because they already see this f7 square, d6. And you might be asking yourself, 300 elo playing like this? It's not really that hard to find these moves, especially all these videos that is out of showing variations of doing knight to g5, of doing like this sort of combo. These tactics on the f7 square and on the f2 square is super prevalent in a beginner match. It is super prevalent in most beginner matches. You gotta just keep that in mind, and it is important to develop your pieces as soon as possible and get your king to safety. Now, after knight to d4, d6, we have this move bishop to f5, because they want to do their own threat. So there's a lot of tactics going on here. It could go either way at this point. White could make a horrible move and play like, I don't know, queen to e2. You never know. But we have this move, knight takes on f7, attacking the queen. And black could have actually came back a little bit with a move like bishop takes on c2, but they did do the move queen to d7 here. Queen to d7, get their queen out of the threat, and maybe if knight takes this rook on h8, then we can get their rook on a8, right? That's the main goal of black. But white did this move, castle king side, knight takes on c2, and then we have this next move, knight takes on e5. And this is the crucial mistake that happens here. This is the crucial mistake that made it where it was impossible for black to come back. Even though I tell beginners all the time, never resign. You never know what's gonna happen, especially if you're under the elo of 1,000. Mistakes happens. Mistakes happen regularly. All right, you should be able to come back. Like I can come back from a loser position if I was facing somebody under 1,000 elo, and you might be thinking, well, of course you can, because you got the experience. But that's how I gained the experience to do that, is by playing the game all the way till the end. After knight takes on e5, bishop takes on d6. What's the best move here? You probably already seen it. Knight takes on d7, because that's just a free queen right there. After knight takes on d7, black resign. Too quick, of course, but I digress. I like just making sure my opponent can checkmate me, because you do run into some things where your opponent in this level doesn't know how to do king rook checkmate, and the only thing they know how to do is the queen rook checkmate, you just never know. That's why I say never resign, especially in the beginner elos here. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Keep on fighting to the end. Stay focused in chess and in real life too. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And then plus, if you want more information, I do provide a Patreon with that. I think it's like $5 a month, or you can just join for free and I can put some videos out there for everybody to enjoy exclusively on that platform. All right. I just want to teach chess. Let me teach chess, guys.